Hello everyone, Agion here with another Steel Division Normandy 44 replay. So on the south side, as the guards, we have Cadilakor. So on the north side, as the lesser seen 116th Panzer, we have URA COMRADES. We do have a large number of Stuarts coming on out. Stuart 4s, or no, that's a 6. First glance, I always get those confused up. We do got some various infantry here, but we do got a large number of light tanks here. We got a number of autocannon units here, as well as a Marauder 3. Marauder 3 does, of course, have, I think, just better accuracy overall in comparison to Marauder 1 and 2. Lining up the first shot, that's maybe a dead Stuart. Oh, just barely gets in the orchard, blocking the line of sight. We got a number of autocannon units here, but however, the Stuart does have 6 armor, so it's very resilient. But this half-track, I hope that thing has a Piet. Because at this rate, the autocannon will just rip apart these units, especially at this close range. Stuart will be lining up shot now. Ammo explodes upon the first shot, maybe the second shot. There goes that half-track as well. That is some huge losses, losing a light tank and infantry like that. These are just standard, ordinary rifles. Very basic, very cheap. Do got some motor rifles here. They do have some Piets, but they're not motor rifles over here. Very problematic for at the moment. You got a 6-pounder, or it could be a 2-pounder. I don't think, is there actually 2-pounders in this game? I don't think so, actually. We do got some Panzer Grenadiers here. Panzer Grenadiers, of course, have dual LMGs as well, and this variant has Panzerfausts as well. These Honey Stuarts need to stay away from the long distance. However, the Panzer Grenadiers are going to be pinned down by these nearby units. Honey Stuart will get a nice shot in. Autocannon unit rushing forward. This Stuart is going to be moving forward. I keep on trying to say Honey Stuarts because some of them are called Honeys. Stuart lining up a shot. Will fire. Destroyed the half track. The Marauder 3 did not have an angle upon it. Motor rifles will get pinned down by the superior number of LMGs, but the Stuart here is more than a match as well. The half track to pin down these Panzer Grenadiers. Marauder 3 item push forward, however, only has 2 armor, is very vulnerable to any AT gun fire. He's actually going to reposition this Lloyd carrier with the 6-pounder in order to engage it. We do got some reinforcing Stuart over here. He's already lost 1 Stuart over here. Is that a good idea to bring forward another one? You still got a substantial amount of map control. Actually, the map control is in favor of the allied player. With these 2 huge bulges here providing a good amount of pressure. While he has lost quite a bit of ground here, some reinforcing enemy infantry will go ahead and fix that up. The Axis infantry. I always say enemy infantry. If I'm bottom, it's me. If it's on top, it's the enemy. Tend to be with any war game really. Looks like that Stuart did in fact get cleaned up by the auto cannon as well. Losing 2 Stuarts on this flank is very problematic, but he's now bringing forward a half track. Mostly motor rifles, as well as Command Cromwell. Command Cromwell has a 1+ armor, but much greater arm penetration, plus enough to inspire near my men. Transmission damage on the Marauder 3, so looks like the Stuart got a very good shot onto it. May have been 6-pounder. The 6-pounder hasn't fired no shots off, so it was in fact the Stuart. Field control is now in favor of the Axis players. This large bulge providing a lot of pressure. Currently at +1. As the Grenadiers are laying the motor rifles, they will get pinned down. They weren't in any sort of form of cover. He will fall them back. We do got a Stuart here to just provide some additional fire support. He has spotted the Marauder 3 with transmission damage for an assault gun. That is very problematic. If he gets caught turning, he's dead. Rommel is now firing some shots, but there's Panzer Grenadiers. They do, of course, have Panzerfausts. Ooh, transmission damage on the Stuart. So he looks like got a nice hit with the Marauder 3. However, the machine gun fire is providing suppression because it only has 2 armor. It is actually vulnerable to machine gun suppression. Do got motor rifles here. These motor rifles do, of course, have 2 SMGs compared to Panzer Grenadiers 1 SMG. However, I'm not exactly sure, with 2 less men, I'm not exactly sure who will actually win out at a close-range battle. We got the autocannon unit being engaged by Cromwell. Cromwell will almost suppress him, halfway suppress him. Will get a nice side armor to hit to destroy it entirely. Looks like the other one went down as well. It may have been from... I'm not so sure it was from this guy. He's fired off 4 shots in total, so may have cleaned up both of them. We got an MG42 here hitting the 6-pounder. I could try to engage at close range, but that's pretty much suicide. With only 2 members. We got the Panzer Grenadiers engaging. We do got transmission damage by Panzerfaust, with supporting Cromwell here as well as the Pinto mounts. Will sustain a huge amount of suppression damage. It is also emergency too, so it can still do quite a bit against its motor rifles, even with this fire support nearby. Looks like it will get suppressed, pinned down. Most likely it will force a surrender if he runs after it. We'll actually lose suppression there. He's trying to fall back. He knows he can't win the engagement. He's trying not to lose it. Over here, we got the MG42. No, the Pinto mount on the 251 will pin down and force the 6-pounder back. Panzer Grenadiers are trying to buy forward for Panzerfaust. We're staying at max range, so he's unable to. Reinforcing Humbar is here. Humbar does. This one has the main cannon. Looks like the half-track over here did in fact get cleaned up. The Panzer Grenadiers did in fact surrender. He just out of range. Actually, no, just fired. No, he fired, but rolls a miss. Ricky did in fact get cleaned up by the MG42. Half-track will be forced back, and we still got these Panzer Grenadiers here, which is very problematic. He will spot this Stotz troop with his motor rifles. With more members, as well as another SMG, he should win out. But actually, he's actually losing quite a... Not really getting all too much. Maybe he's not actually hitting it. We'll force the surrender there. There goes the half-track to the Humbar, I believe. Ooh, track's broken. Panzerfaust did get a penetrating hit there. We'll be trying to pin it down. We'll fire off this last Panzerfaust. Will result in death. Riflemen. Oh, these rifles, if they were not in hold and return fire state, they probably could force a surrender on that unit. We got a Panzer IIIM coming on out. That's maybe the heaviest Panzer III available in the game currently. Panzer Grenadiers are currently dueling out the motor rifles. Will definitely win out. They have dual LMGs as well as more members. As veterancy as well. Reinforcements over here is becoming problematic. There's actually 3 Panzer M's out on the field. Battle phase B will be initiated in 2 minutes. Boy, I'm a bit chilly at the moment. Basements are always chilly. Really wish I would have grabbed one of my sweatshirts. These Panzer IIIMs, they do of course have 2 stars. Base accuracy is 5. Base accuracy is 5. With 1 less armor penetration, but with 2 extra star accuracy, I would actually say the Panzer IIIM may be more slotted out the win. Riflemen and Panzer Grenadiers engaged in the nearby command Cromwell's, giving them 1-star veterancy, so the dual SMG will probably prove out victorious. Reinforcing infantry here. We've got a couple of Centaur AA tanks come here, primarily for fire support most likely. But of course they can also ward away any enemy aircraft he may be concerned about. He's facing against Panzer Division, so he doesn't have exactly the huge amount of aircraft assets available. But even those a couple, if he doesn't want to invest into air supported fires and engage them, can be a bit problematic. Marauder 3's maybe trying to hit the Stuart, but oh, this Panzer IIIM finds a little path in there to engage. Panzer IIIM trying to aim for the other Stuart, but the 6-pounder here has line of sight of it. May get a penetrating hit. Multiple bounces. Currently almost in the fallback state. He may want to go ahead and fall back behind the bushes there with an automatic fallback, where he can just go to a random direction, sustaining additional fire. Humbar here does of course have 7 arm penetration and isn't within one. It is close enough to get some good arm penetrating hits, but we do got it being suppressed down. The Panzer Grenadiers did get in fact wiped out. This unit will be forced back. Panzer IIIM has been to recover. Rolls a couple misses. Marauder 3 lines up a shot. Will result in the death of the Stuart. Now just remaining just this one Humbar, and that's it for AT. We do got some Piats, but usually This would be a little bit of a careless opponent going too close to the forest without any infantry support. Motor rifles here have used up all their Piet shots. Looks like they have claimed one of these Panzer IIIs. No, the Command Cromwell. That is definitely the Command Cromwell. Panzer III. Seward half-track. Ah, here's the Panzer III that was over here, the other one. MG42 team is fighting against motor rifles at point blank, but with only one member left. But we're sustaining a huge amount of suppression upon it. Still can go either way. We'll force a pin down. We'll actually fall back, then surrenders. Pounder has been deployed. There's a small river here, so amphibious units have their moment to shine, right? Other side has them. Panzer Grenadiers are going to be engaging these motor rifles at close range, but most likely, ooh, it still can go either way. Both of them are 2 members. They had 4 last time checked, but now the 2 SMGs being very potent. It still go either way. Both of them have 1 SMG left. Actually, they're both reloading. They're both probably very panicked. Like, oh no! I need to reload! Reloading! Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! Oh crap! There goes the Panzer IIIM to this very close range 6-pounder. Very accurate to that range and very high arm penetration. Panzer Grenadiers will manage to reload first, but most likely this one is actually take it out. Half-track's going to be engaged by the 6-pounder and vice versa. We'll get pinned down. Riflemen here are actually running forward. I'm going to throw the grenades onto the half-track. It's currently the severely damaged state. There goes, forces the fall back. You can see it's very darkened now. I think 1 or 2 more frags could finish it off. We do got substantial field control by the Axis player. However, we do got some more Cromwell 7s coming on now. The battle phase B has been initiated for 2 minutes 30 seconds. There's still numbered tanks here, but this Panzer IIIM will have trouble versus this Cromwell 7 because it has more armor, natural armor, than its armor penetration. But at this close range, either side can get a penetrating shot. And with extra stars accuracy, he will get have better accuracy in total. Gilroy will go ahead and fall back. That's the name of this tank, apparently. Or the captain, probably. The commander. It's probably a command sergeant that's in... The commander is a sergeant of some sort. Well, not an officer. Do got heavier tanks now being deployed. Do got the tank destroyer Jag Panzer as well as Command Panzer 4. This autocannon unit here can find some very good arm penetration shots here. Currently the Marauder 3 is in a fallback state. Won't be able to defend itself in that regards. But Humbar eyeing for a shot. The Humbar will in fact get the kill. There is of course a nearby dingo to help inspire these nearby units. Over here some reinforcing infantry units are coming forward. AA tanks are coming forward. Oh, there goes the Stuart. That's the last Stuart. Or at least probably that's probably maybe his last Stuart. There goes the Humbar. That is of course a reconnaissance unit. Will be taken out by the Panzer IIIM at a closer range. But however, the Cromwell 7 will claim the kill in return. We've got some Panzerfaust now moving forward into these forests. Though I don't think he may have spotted that unit. If he spotted that unit, you need to swing out far wide. There's no reason he should stay so close. Oh, the Panzerfaust are going to engage. This unit is out of autocannon ammo. Autocannon unit will receive a huge amount of suppression fire. 250 will in fact fall back, but we do get the Panzerfaust aligning. However, it did not fire. It was aiming but not firing. There's a bit of a vision block there. Can he actually run away in time of unknown death that's approaching? You got an autocannon unit here being problematic. You got an AEC Mark III now coming on out. It looks like the Panzer Grenadiers will not be able to chase down the unit with a Panzerfaust. Actually, okay, he's not going out of the woods as well. That'd be a bit of a blunder if he walks forward, because he'll probably get instantly suppressed. Panzer 4 is now moving forward. While it does have superior armor and arm penetration, at this range, it being a assault gun may prove itself to be a very deadly zone, because it will take time to align up the gun. However, first shot's fired, roll a miss, and there goes a Cromwell. It had to do much realigning. We got some half tracks over here as well with some supporting infantry. Still got these rifles. Haven't done all too much. They've been deployed at the beginning of the game. More and more Panzer 3s now moving forward. And got sort of a line of Panzer Grenadiers. AEC of Mark III does have only 1,000 range, but it is of course a reconnaissance unit. It has 8 armor as well as 11 armor penetration. Note this is the same variant used in Company Heroes. Of course, Company Heroes has to be balanced a bit more. It does not have the same same gun as the 6-pounder AT gun. Abstracts looks like they will be forced back due to a lot of machine gun fire. Actually, that gets bailed out by the Stuart. I think it actually got destroyed by HE. But from damage, there goes all the ammo. It looks like he's going to use these riflemen to force surrender. And this will be a bit of a wake-up call. Wait a second, there's riflemen right there? He actually gets killed off. How did it not surrender? Maybe because he's deep in enemy territory for so long? You got some riflemen engaging the Stars troop. The riflemen who should win out. They have much more men and 2 SMGs. Air tanks repositioning, they're going to get better coverage. However, they're going to run straight into a Panzer 3. However, the Stuart can engage the armor. The Panzer 3 will go and line up a shot. Will destroy the AA tank. Stuart will be lining up a shot. Will roll a miss. Panzer 3 is, of course, 2 stars. The Stuart won't be able to really brawl out against it. He's taking a big risk. Will roll a miss there. It looks like the Panzer Grenadiers, the LMGs, will pin down these riflemen. And we got these Pioneers with the 2 bundle grenades, which can wreak havoc on this squad here. Looks like these Panzer Grenadiers will have been cleaned up. 250 half track here. Just a large number of reinforcements. At this stage of the game, the guards will have better economy. In fact, the rest of the game, they will have better economy. They will just only had 10 less in the first part of the game. They have substantially more economy in the mid-game, but plus 25, and then they'll have additional plus 10 for the rest of the game. Battle Phase C will be initiated in 2 minutes. However, the Axis player has sustained huge amount of tickets, while the field control is now 50-50. He needs to hold the line. This Stuart crew get a very good shot off, but for 0 stars of veterancy, you will have a bit of trouble versus Panzer 3. Panzer 3 lining up a shot. Stuart will get the first shot off. We'll get a nice penetrating shot to the frontal armor there, resulting in the death of that Panzer 3. That is actually a massive blow. Now this flank is very, very less scary. We got a Stuart. Now the Stuarts are going to be engaging the Pioneers. We got the Panzer Grenadiers pinning down the riflemen here. Auto cannon unit did in fact go down as well. We do got a flame 251 half track. Does of course have 2 of the flamers. We all have seen that from the Company Heroes 2 side if you've ever played that game. But of course, this is a different game where a much bigger field, and so it's not as threatening, but it'll be excellent versus any infantry it sees. And especially versus the standard riflemen, which they only have just basic frags in order to gauge. We've got a mortar half track out. It is equipped with a, was it 80mm? Yes, an 80mm mortar. And more and more Stuarts. How many Stuarts did he actually slotted in? He seems like a whole lot. We've got Marauder 3 Tank Destroyer coming forward. A lot of Axis armor has in fact go down, and he doesn't really have the economy to really support it in comparison to his opponent. And his opponent just been spamming out a bunch of light units, cheap units. So he has to take on a lot of targets. We do got some Pioneers here. We'll probably wipe out that 6-pounder, no problem, especially with the frag grenades coming on out. Yeah, frag grenade wiped out the last 2 men, no problem. claim half track will be spotted, and most people will get killed off, no problem. Surprisingly not. Red recruits are coming out, but they will just get shredded by these pioneers. I just noticed my frame rate's been taking a bit of a dip. Haven't really been paying all too much. 30 frames per second should be fine. Looks like these pioneers will force surrender another squad of these riflemen. Still got a number of half-tracks here, but the Stuart has nothing to really contest. We do got a Panzer IV here. Panzer IV does, of course, have 8 armor, but it's receiving fire from a 17-pounder, which is very problematic. Stuarts are even coming in from the side. However, the 17-pounder will, in fact, finish it off. We do got a Sherman 5 being deployed out as well. Panzer Grenadiers, reinforcing Panzer Grenadiers will get pinned down by all these pinto mounts. A bit problematic. Do got now a first aircraft coming on now, a Ju-87. Does of course have 9 armor penetration with 2 guns to utilize it. We'll make short work of these Stuarts most likely. Both of the AA tanks have actually gone down. Do got to claim the kill on one of these Stuarts. However, the Ju-87 will get spotted, will initiate a fallback. There is a rear-mounted machine gun, but I don't think that can actually fire in the fallback state. This aircraft is going to be lining up a shot at Tempest. We do got a reinforcing Me-19, but the Ju-87 has in fact get splashed down. Most likely the Tempest will in fact go down as well. Actually swinging out quite wide. He's going to try to fight it out. Will forces the fallback now, but I think the Focke-Wulf 190, although it's the Me-19, will splash it down, no problem. But I would say trading that for Ju-7 is a very good trade, because the Ju-7 is very effective versus units. We'll actually barely manage to get out as well. Army field control is in favor of the Allied player at +1 at 56%. And just sending out all these cheap riflemen out and securing as much ground as possible. He also has Bread and Grapes, another cheap squad, 5 men, but they do, of course, have 2 LMGs. Focke-Wulf 19, Me-19 is coming in for a strafe. It does have a decent amount of firepower in order to gauge ground targets. Overall, well, he still has substantial tickets to reclaim, but at this rate, according to the game, he's actually going to win. Ooh, there goes those pioneers. They were all out of grenades, so they weren't exactly too effective versus these motor riflemen, and plus nearby half-tracks providing good amount of fire support. He's all out of armor. He has a couple of Marauder 3s, but nothing really to engage his opponent's armor. You could try using Ju-7 some more. But I just don't know what he can do. He has time to play, so he can mass in some reinforcements, but he's going to be fighting with less economy than his opponent for the rest of the game. His opponent does have a substantial amount of units still out. Armor 7 will find the Marauder 3 at very close range. Marauder 3 will roll a miss there, and machine gun fire just provided a substantial amount of suppression. Cromwell is going to head and chase down the Marauder. However, there's Panzer Grenadiers here for the Panzerfaust. So has to be very careful. He should, but then the Pinto, he's stopping, and now going to just go ahead and start gunning down the Panzer Grenadiers, forcing them to pin down. Now he's just going to, he has free reign to charge forward and force them both to surrender. There goes the Marauder 3 by gunfire. Plus 2 tickets are in favor of the Axis of the allied player. So I'm not exactly sure how the Axis player can really come back. He's lost a substantial amount of resources. Oh, he's just going to surrender. It's Agion saying thank you for watching and signing off.